Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where last episode we became this yellow-orange color, which is different, so there's that. We're also currently involved in this nomadic camp migration, and this is a long ways away, right? Where are we going? We're apparently going down to here. Okay. So, I mean, that's definitely a long ways away. It's going to take us 8 months to get there. Do we have... Oh, look at that. A campaign planner. So our army movement speed would be boosted by 30% if we put this guy in charge. That's exactly what I was looking for when I went in here. So that is excellent. We'll put that guy in there, and that seems good. Hopefully we can get this dealt with. Now, these guys are chasing out over here. We've got an organizer here, so that's increasing our movement speed here as well. So let's proceed forward. And hopefully we'll be able to catch this force. That's the dream, anyway. We will see if that ends up happening. Now, I don't know if we're actually hostile with the people who are here. No, we're definitely not. So let's bring these guys down over here. Hello? In 15 days, they would leave in 23, so we're going to catch them right here. I was thinking about fighting them up over here, but this is a better place for us to fight anyway. This is in mountains, so we would rather fight them down here in the desert. So that sounds good. We're going to hop on down here and fight them. And we should stack wipe this, and that should end the war. There we go. War's over. Perfect. So we'll enforce those demands and disband our troops. There we go. So now we can start thinking about where we want to fight next. So that will be exciting, and where do we want to fight next? Well, currently we can extort subjects, which we are going to do. Now, where are my loyal subjects? And we have a dangerous faction, which, to absolutely no one's surprise, is, as it turns out, nomads. Okay, well, I'm going to go into our prisoners here for right now, and we are going to search by government type. So, nomadic government. There we go. And then we want to do, sorting by time in prison is correct. Because these guys that have been imprisoned for not very long, we want to attempt to revoke. Now, this guy was only 2 days ago. We probably can't do anything here. Yeah. So this person, nothing that we can do there. And we want to only find landed people. There we go. That'll make things a little easier. Okay. So we can't revoke this title. They're not our direct vassal. I wish we could sort these by direct vassals, and we can see that 10 years was the most recent one that we put in here. So there's nothing to be done here. I was hoping after the last nomadic uprising that we would have captured a few people and been able to forcibly revoke their titles. That's not the case. Okay, so that's fine. Nothing to be done there as of right now. So down in Kyle, I want to get going on this forestry, and in Colum, we can get building this trade port, and that actually finishes Colum, so that's actually magnificent. So we'll get going on that. This ransom is acceptable. And let's see here. An act of tyranny, that's probably okay, though, at this moment. Yes, I'll do it. Why take a little when we can take a lot? And there we go. So that refills our funds for right now. And what we want to do is we want to put that into our castles. But we don't have any castles that aren't building at this moment. So that is understood. Okay, this ransom is acceptable. This one is acceptable. This one is acceptable. There's a lot of these. Okay, this one's not acceptable. And she's our vassal. Okay. We can't retract her title, apparently. So that's okay. We're going to decline that. She is our vassal, so we don't want her released at this time. This one is acceptable, and this one is acceptable. Perfect. So that looks great. And now we need to consider, do we care about this nomad uprising? I think the answer is no. We need to start attacking someone, and I want to start taking out some of these territories over here, but I also want to take a bunch of territory up over this way, and we only have so much time, right? So the game is going to end in, like, 20 years, and we need to keep that in mind. If we were to declare on this guy, we could seize de jure lands. There's almost nothing that we would get from that. A little bit from this guy's claims, but this... He would become our vassal. Now that is a spicy war. I like it. This is a solid one. It's not even all that expensive, to be honest. I don't see a reason to not do this. This is a very, very good war for us. He would become our vassal. This is not an Empire tier title, and that would give us access to the Empire title in this area. I think it's Red Horde. And I don't know that we get much de jure out of that, but that's definitely an interesting way to go. So I'm going to declare this war. It's not even all that far away, so we are going to raise up our forces pretty quickly out over here. Now, one thing I want to check here is... before we do this, I'm just checking through and making sure that these are all maxed out on their size. They are. And I want to check in on our Chorviers at this moment, too. Okay, so we've got a successor here. We do not have a successor here, but we can actually recruit this guy. There we go. I'm very glad that they made that doable within that menu rather than having to find the guy in the big list. Very good that they did that. Okay, we need a successor here. This guy can do it, and that seems fine. We do gain a stress level from that because we're shy, and that's okay. And then over here, we need a successor here, and we can force this guy. Perfect. So we have a successor for all of these at this time, and that sounds great. I'd like to create a new accolade, but we're capped at 4 of 4, and there's nothing that we can do about that. So we can just raise up somewhere around here, and that should be fine. So we're going to go in up over this way. I'm not going to raise any more than this. We have a mental break here, and we're just going to be alone and think, and that solves it. So that's absolutely fine. No problem at this time whatsoever. That's what we like to see. So we're headed in up over this direction, and the question is, where are his forces going to be at? Well, they're up over here, and looks like they're going to try to invade in the north. That's fine. They can do that. I don't care. If they want to do that, that's absolutely something that they are allowed to do. So we're going to hop down over this direction, and we're just starting to make up these sieges here, and we want to siege up towards their capital overall. I'm just thinking about our overall path here. I would like to siege here, but the problem is that there's this second castle up over here. That means we're not going to get the full county occupation. It's fine, but it's a little awkward. We're going to grab this location on the way northward, and I'm just not going to go out of our way over here for now. That puts us at 40% war score, and we're just going to continue to push through up over here. Okay, so that's 53%. Getting the full county occupied is far more valuable than getting a single castle occupied. So yeah, that definitely makes things a little awkward. Now the path up here is a little awkward as well. I'm just thinking about the way that these mountain passes are structured. And I'm thinking going here, 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 and then going up into Kabul would be the way to go. And he's coming back this way. He seems to have noticed that he's got a small problem here, and he absolutely does. He cannot outpace us with these sieges. It just isn't going to happen. So he's pulling back to try to do something about this, but what's he going to do? Is he going to try to attack us here? Because that would be very foolish. Surely he's not. No, he's not. We're going to go try to catch him, and if we do catch him, great. If we don't, we'll take his capital. He changed where he was going, so we do catch him here. This will end the war. We just absolutely crushed that. Our stats are just too good. Okay, now the nomads are popping, and that's interesting timing, because I think we can ignore that for the moment, enforce our demands here, disband our troops now, then say that the nomads are going to fight us. And now our troops are disbanded, and we can re-raise our men-at-arms wherever we want them. So this guy has like 5,000 troops. He's up over this way, and that seems reasonably fine. So we can just essentially teleport our men-at-arms up over here way, way faster because of that timing. So that looks good. And the real question here is, what is this going to look like in terms of timing out this way? So they're going to get this siege done. They're probably going to get this siege done. That's not that big of a deal. We are over our vassal limit at this moment, and I'm wondering if we can do any de jure vassals. Let's see here. No de jure. So that's understood. I want to come out to the territory that we just took over, and I've already lost where it is. Oh, it was this out over here. Right. Okay, so I'm looking at this here. This is just a single king title. Nothing major out over this way. Okay, so that seems fine. The next thing that I want to look at is with all of these vassals up over here. There are no landed vassals that are going to be part of this. So that's absolutely noted. We're going to make our way up over here. They're going to try to siege here, and that's where we're going to catch them. They're actually running away. Fascinating. Actually, they're not. They're not running away. We could end the war with this battle, theoretically, if we capture their leader. We'll see what happens. They're going to get stack wiped for sure. And they're just kind of chilling up over here. I want to take this back because this is part of the Wargle. So we're going to grab that for the ticking war score, and then we're going to head up over here. Perfect. So we find ourselves at 40%. Are we going to get here in time to stop them from the siege? No, but we can at least make our way up that way. So let's grab professional workforce, and I want to go spend some money. We've got a fair amount of that to spend, so we can come down over here. We can build this blacksmith. This is not actually going to upgrade our men-at-arms here, I don't think, but we're still going to do that. And this is going to be maxing out Kyle, and that's absolutely wonderful. We can see Korkai is maxed out, and we're just generally starting to max out all of our locations. That's our capital maxed, so that's wonderful. And Canonor is not quite there, but it's very, very close. We're maxed here, and in Mahal, we have a ways to go in Mahal, to be honest. Let's go ahead and upgrade our stables here for right now. Beautiful. Okay, so back up in the north, we are heading up over this way. I believe this is all of their force, right? No, they actually have a little more. They have about 1,100 troops somewhere, and I don't know where. They could be literally anywhere. Really? They're way out over here. Okay. We're going to hope that this ends it. That's the dream. So, if they're running away, where are they likely to go? Here. That's where they're likely to go. Really? They're just stopping here. That's not a good place for them to stop. They just hard lose then. This is actually kind of ideal for us. So I see these guys down over here. This is obnoxious, but it's not the end of the world. So we're going to grab that, and this is worth 3.6 war score each. Okay, so it's going to take us some time to get back down here. That's at the war goal, and that's understood. So we're going to get this back. We're going to hop down here. And 5 months on that siege, huh? Okay, well, ticking war score will tick for a little bit, and we might end this before that actually happens. If ticking is actually happening right now, which it isn't. So that is definitely a little bit concerning, but we'll hop down over here, take this back, and then head over this way. We're at 93% right now. If ticking war score was going, then this would be ideal. As it is, I'm going to split our force. We're going to go here and here. We don't need this strong of a concentrated force, so this is absolutely fine. Hey, look, a plague! Who could have ever seen this coming? Okay, so we have an early prevention success, and we're just going to head on up over here. This siege is done. This war is actually, this is a nomadic camp migration, and it's done. Okay, we just inherited it and instantly won it. That's exciting. And there's also this nomadic camp migration, and that's this guy right up over here. That's conveniently located. So we're going to hop up over here. They're going to probably get that siege. Yeah, I was hoping we'd get there slightly faster, but we didn't. Out of curiosity... Okay, this is not the one with the army organizer. Gotcha. Okay, so we are going to enforce demands here. There we go. No problem there. And now we're just going to... If I can select here... There we go. We're just going to meander on up over this way. So that looks good. We'll get that taken care of. And he's heading out over this direction. Sure. I wonder where he's going to go after that. Here? Yes. Okay. So that seems absolutely fine. He's running off. Okay. And the nomads have popped again. Okay. You want freedom? You'll have it in death. So they're right up over here. That's actually also pretty convenient. So I'm going to have these guys head up and deal with that. That's absolutely fine. And these have 1219, so these are the only forces that they have. So that's good to know. We have a court chaplain, or rather, we need a court chaplain, and we're going to put in this guy. Was he endorsing us? Hang on. Yes, he was. Okay. So that looks fine. No problem there. Okay, so we had a successor on one of our accolades. That's understood. Hiding from plague for 10 years. At the cost of 20 legitimacy. We can actually afford the legitimacy. I'm going to take that. And we're going to walk right up over here. We're going to wipe out this nomadic camp migration. No problem. Okay, so we're still above our vassal limit. We'll handle that in a moment. Okay, so this war is over, and we're going to head over this way. Not like we're going to get there in time. We'll enforce those demands. Wonderful. And they're going to succeed that siege there. But this force can actually come on down here. Sure. What do you got? Yeah, cull the sheep. That's fine. Serve me well. Perfect. So we're going to attack them right over here. That could end the war, or we might need to take this back. These guys are on their way to siege here, and that's absolutely fine. So that seems okay for the moment. These won't save a soul. We don't need military assistance. Get out of here. Okay, war is over. Perfect. So we're going to enforce those demands. Yeah, that was a nomadic uprising, and that was their entire army. So that was always going to end that war. So we can now disband our troops, and now we can think, once again, about expansion. So how do we want to go about expanding here? Well, we do allegedly have a dangerous faction. This is probably more nomads. They may or may not disappear here. Let's tick it. They disbanded. Okay, so it's at least going to be a little while before we have nomads again. To that end, I'm going to create the Red Horde Empire title if we can. We have 26 of 27 required countries, or rather counties. That's unfortunate. That means we need to take on this guy. We could Holy War for the Kingdom. That is definitely an option. There's also Alan out over here. This is an interesting option. I'm wondering... these are terrible Kingdom Wars. That was not horrible, but it's very exclavey. I don't like it. What's the Dejure Empire out there look like? That's the Persian Empire. Okay, we're nowhere near having the Persian Empire. So that is understood. We're still working on cleaning up this area up over here, and that might be where we want to focus for the time being. So we've got like this country up here, right? The Naimans. This is part of the De jure Empire of Siberia, I believe. Yes, and Siberia is not creatable for us, but if we take this, it might be. And that's a lot of people with claims. So that's our de jure, not amazing. If we were to go for some of these claims, that is a nice claim. Presumably he'd be our vassal. Yes, he would. That's a solid claim there. That would at least get us close to being able to form the Siberian Empire. Even if it didn't quite get us there, it would be very, very close. So I'm going to go ahead and declare this, and we're going to raise up our forces right up over here. So we need to raise up about there or so. I don't think we can raise here, can we? We can. Yeah, this is a better location. So we'll raise just our men-at-arms. I don't foresee needing any more than that. But we do need to deal with our vassal limit. And to that end, I'm going to grant a vassal here first. That's going to be like this guy. That'll be fine. I don't like granting these, but it's okay. I want to get them converted over to feudal, but for now, this is fine. We'll demand conversion. Because we did it in this order, that went from a 22 to a 65% chance, and that's fantastic. Okay, so let's get these raised up. We're going to be going into Central Tanu as soon as we're done here. And he did convert. Excellent. So that is absolutely wonderful. I do want to check in and see if we have any of these constructions that finished up. In fact, we do. So in Madurai, we have quite a number of constructions that we can work on. I'll build windmills, as I think that's the most expensive. We'll definitely upgrade our manor houses here as well. Down in Mahal, we've got work that we can do. Actually, there's quite a lot of work over here. We'll get wind furnaces going in. And we know that we're done on all of these, so that's fine. And Cananor, actually, this is the final upgrade for it. So we're still going to have a little bit of work to be done in this county. These 3 are all done, but Madurai needs a little bit of work, as does Sivakasi. And then we still need work in Mahal. So those are the only locations that we still need to upgrade at this point. That's absolutely wonderful. So let's hop up over here and deal with this invasion. It's not going to be a very difficult one for us once our troops are raised. That's, as usual, the problem. This is quite far away, as you can see. Our empire is rather large and fragmented. We need to work on that. But that's exactly what we're doing. So that sounds fine, and up over here, a shadow over dang, huh? There's only one thing to say about that, and that's dang. We'll summon the physician, and that's fine. So we see that they have their forces right down over here, some of their forces. That's not all of them, for sure. We're recruiting a court physician. Honestly, we can afford to recruit one. This is fine. I don't care about that. That's like 1 month of income at this moment, and that seems good. We'll assign this lady as our steward. She's gonna die soon, so she's not gonna be there forever. Okay. Apparently we failed. We'll chastise him, and we're going to be arriving here shortly. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to split our force here. I'm going to send half down over here, because I don't think that we're going to need our full force group together. So I'm going to send half down over here to chase down this force, and that's these guys, yeah. So we're going to have to come down this direction for the moment. And we're going to catch them right over here. Perfect. So that's a good chunk of their army, and no, we're not going for high partition. Get out of here. Cool. So that's stack wiped, as we would expect. And now we can come in and do multiple sieges at once, which is the goal here. So we're going to hop in over this direction. Bringers of Pestilence, huh? We're going to take Divine Guidance, and that'll be fine. I think I just saw that we finished up some constructions. Hang on. Let me see here. Yes, in Mahal we did. Okay, so I want to upgrade our charcoal burners here. That's only going to take 3 months to get that upgraded. So we can get that all done pretty quickly at this point. And that seems good. So our forces are moving in. I want to keep them in similar locations so that they can reinforce each other if necessary, but not necessarily, like, super close. Like, they don't have to be at the same location, right? So there's a nomadic camp migration happening. This is out over here. Okay, I'm not worried about that right now. We'll deal with that later. So I'm going to bypass this location for right now. And we're just going to head up here. Yeah, we'll take this attrition, but we won't actually, I don't think. I think our timing will be fine on this. Because we can take this, and then these guys are going to march here, and this will fall very quickly. So I don't think we're actually going to take this attrition. If it looks like we will, predicted arrival in 11 days, yeah, we'll hold off on that for the moment. Okay, 900 gold is actually fine. I don't mind that right now. Now we can probably make this run. Yes. There we go. So we won't take that attrition. I see them gathering up over here. That's interesting. It's a small force. They have a larger force on the way up. So we might want to reinforce this up over here. Yeah, I definitely want to catch this force. And we're reinforcing. So we should be fine. Even this force can win this. They'll even stack wipe it. So that looks wonderful. At this point, I'm going to turn these guys around. Oh, they're locked in. That's sad. We're 92% war score. We're going to walk in up over here, and that will put us at what? 94% war score. War is over. So we're going to enforce those demands. Perfect. That is now all part of our empire. And that means that we may be able to create the Empire title of Siberia. Not yet. Okay. We'll continue to work on that, but these guys, they need to come over here. So it'll take them 6 months to arrive, and this guy's just kind of standing here and not doing anything for some reason. I don't know why he's decided to do that, but he has. So we had another successor for our acclaimed knights. That's understood. And we're above our vassal limit again. So I want to check in with some of these nomadic realms. I don't think we're having any of these actually rebel against us, is the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move one into this guy. It'll be fine. We'll move that. It's mildly awkward, but it'll be okay. Cool. So we're on our way in over this way. We'll arrive here. This still says 6 months. I don't know if that's actually true, because it was 6 months a while ago. Well, that said, we were probably delayed because of the winter. It probably wasn't factoring in the fact that it was going to shift to winter previously. That's probably what it was. 1,500 gold. Actually, we can afford to pay this guy off. That's not an issue. I'm going to hop back down over here. In Madurai, we can get ourselves our windmill maxed out, and then we can get manor houses maxed out. Perfect. And then over here, this is our final upgrade for our men-at-arms. After this, there are no more stat upgrades available in our buildings for our men-at-arms. So that is wonderful. We have ridiculously powerful men-at-arms. It's absurd how powerful they are. So we're making our way through these mountains. We'll be here very shortly, and this guy isn't doing anything. Like, he's not even sieging this location. I don't know what he's doing. He's just chilling. Now he's running away. Okay. I'm going to let him lock into this, because he's just trying to not fight us by changing where he's going. I did never see him lock in there. Okay, that's exciting. Well, we're still going to catch him right up over here. This will end this war. And it is about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to work on putting our realm back together up here in the north. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.